What up, meows? Welcome to Tomcat's Cool Toy Collection, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles edition. Tonight, we're gonna take a look at some of my favorite figures of all time. Many of these I first came in contact with, like anyone, as a kid back in the day. From gifts from my father, my mom, my grandma Wire, maybe a few aunts and uncles. A lot of them I'd find at garage sales. They'd get me, and then sometimes, from the toy store, fresh out the package with that delicious hazardous chemical smell. I got rid of most of them and started recollecting and building it up more in my adult years. Finding them at garage sales, thrift stores, the internet, and from other collectors such as yourselves out there. Going from the cartoon as a kid to the movies. First one's like one of the best films of all time. Love the second one a lot. And the comic books, but I'm still gonna say the figures are the coolest. So let's check them out. Alright, so up here I got the Technodrome with Shredder, Krang in his android body, and some foot soldiers. Shredder was always my favorite growing up. I liked his purple cape and his cool armor. I think I got about 3 of the Shredder figures now, just because I'm still obsessed, I guess. Technodrome Eyeball. I believe I got this Technodrome at a garage sale, either in the 90s. Yeah, it was definitely the 90s. It's turned yellow, the flame retardant. It was sitting under my dad's stairs for, I don't know, 10 years or more. And it was fine, and then I pulled it out, and then I put it back under there, and then it turned yellow, which kind of sucks. I might want to get a new one at some point when I got the dough. I always thought Krang was cool in the android body, just for the fact that, you can open up the stomach and take him out of there. I'm like way up here, so I'm like kind of afraid to drop him down below, but it's Krang. He comes out. Definitely on my bucket list to get the large size one. Look at that, he's the same. Can almost fit inside Shredder's chrome dome. I didn't have any of these foot soldiers as a kid, but now I've come across, I think I got like 6 of them. So we got 4 in here. But yeah, Technodrome is always cool. You got the stickers with, the turtles and the computer screens and gadgets and stuff. Got the sewer spinner here. Inside, let's move this guy. Ah! Shredder down, Shredder down. I'll just credit that one to Casey Jones or Donatello. Then inside the prison cell here, now that this bridge came off. Never had the bridge as a kid because I had the pieces, a lot of these pieces were missing. And I got these through. Alright, now we got Shredder sitting over here, which is the seat I always gave him as a kid, meow. And then here we got, the jail cell, which I always thought was cool. I didn't have these handcuffs growing up as a kid. There's April O'Neil, the orange-blue stripe version with, the press on her. There's a few different variations I'll show you in a second. And there is a storage shell Mike, which is actually a reissue one of the few, if not only reissues I have. And then was that like the paratrooper Donnie? Closer look at the Technodrome. Got the eyeball spins and moves with this. There's supposed to be a belt that attaches like a turtle here, and then it spins. Doesn't have a lot of strength to it anymore, but
One of my favorite things as a kid was this trap door here. Fall right into the prison dungeon. And you really see the color distortion. Here's where the tunnels would connect. Whoa, dudes, let us out. Same thing with this side. You could flip open these doors here, like that. And this one would open like that. The turtles could make their escape. I think this is really rusted out because I had it submerged in water as a kid. These are supposed to be like guns that got destroyed. The gun thing. I'm not sure what this is. Some sort of plate. Foot pieces that come down for support. Pretty clever. More stickers. So you got Dimension X there. You got some chemicals. I think this is where people would put Krang. I don't know if he was supposed to go there or not. And then this, this pops open. I think there was like a bed. I think it was on the other side. It's supposed to come with a bed I've never had. Oh, and then more stickers that are cool. Controls. Slime. So this moves. This thing opens, which I always thought was random as a kid, but apparently it's supposed to slide down and shoot off onto the floor. You see? What's cool was, I didn't know it because I didn't know this sewer set existed until I was an adult. Got some turtle playing cards I found at the dollar store. But yeah, you can connect the tunnel from the Technodrome to the sewer lair, where we got two more foot soldiers hanging out up here. Head dropping Donnie, taking a peek through the fire hydrant spyglass. Forget what you call that, like on a submarine. I'm not sure what this pizza box is too. I thought it was the 2003 Turtles, but I don't think it was. It's got some pizza in there. If you know what this pizza box is from, let me know. Could be Barbie for all I know. Splinter, who's always cool. I love the cloth cape, and he's just got that kind of mean but goofy rat look on his face. Similar belt to Shredder. Back there I got the other head dropping turtles. I got Mikey and Leo there. Raph on this side. Another version of April with her hair blowing in the wind. I forget what you call this one right now. Pretty tired today. And then yeah, this is cool. You got this power line they can swing on. Take out some bad guys. And drop down in there and get stuck. Got this sewer that opens up. Check it out, guys.
What's going on? I never even looked at another guy.
Claustrophobe. So yeah, that's a cool turtle sewer set, which is still exciting and new for me. Casey Jones, one of my all-time favorite figures and character. That's what I was kind of dressed as. I never made the shoulder mount. Used to have the glove things, sweatpants, similar shoes. Spray painted my baseball bat and golf club like that. Don't have the muscles down. Rat King. Another one of my favorites. I don't know, maybe they're all my favorites, but Rat King's definitely up there. I always just loved how, you have all this detail on the turtle figures. You got the rats crawling on them. You got some centipedes or millipedes. You got, a little bone tied up in there. Some more rats. All these cool bugs. Just all the stitching. The detail, the hacked up hair. There's always just so much detail on these figures. The hair on his stomach, the rips in the clothes. I guess the blue streaks was just supposed to be like lighting or something, but it always, looks pretty cool. There's some more of the Technodrome. You can tell the color changed. It's not that nice gray, it's a nasty yellow. And then, let's see. So here's a custom figure, custom doll I did when I was probably like 12 years old, 13 years old. Oh, he's missing an armor. So I sculpted these out of Sculpey clay. I think this kind's supposed to glow in the dark. And then, made the shirt out of some old, an old t-shirt. I don't remember what the pants were made out of. Alright, so here's a closer look. So I tried to sculpt, I don't know what you call these, but you've seen them. They're like, they're like these. They're not the size, but the stabby thing. And I took a Ken's head. Let's see if I can get his mask off. Oh yeah, he's got the cool scars under there. So I took like a Ken head. This was like 2002, I think, or 2003. Just scotch taped it onto an Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator body from '97 when they did the Terminator, was it like Battle Across Time thing at Universal Studios. So at Toys R Us they had all these reissues of Terminator 2 figures. Glued the armor just straight to the shirt here, so if I did want to do a shirtless version like the figure, I'd have to glue these straight to his shoulders. I think the scars I just did with marker. And then I gave him this staff. It's kind of like the staff that Super Shredder figure has. It's supposed to glow in the dark, or used to. I don't know if it does anymore. But yeah, pretty cool. Custom I made. Alright, here's some more cool ones. It's from the Wacky Figures edition. Mouser. Still moves, I think. Just press them or you have to wind them. Maybe I broke them. This thing's about as old as I am. Yeah, almost. But I always thought the Mousers were cool. I wasn't really even aware of the Mousers during the original run until they came out the 2003 version, more closely based off the comics. Undercover Don. This was always a favorite of mine. It's got the mask that comes off. Kind of looks like, what's his name? Marcho Grouch. He's got the cool briefcase. You can open it up one way or another. Top secret stuff in there. Got a phone. He's got his bandana. Walkman. Turtle Walkman. They had a beat up version of this left over from the garage sale era of the early mid 90s, but this is this might have come in a tub I got off eBay when I was still in my preteens. Baxter Stockman, another favorite. He just looks cool, you know. I love the Fly from the 50s, so he kind of reminds me of the classic Fly. He's got his Fly swatter, ironically, but with, you know, a turtle on it. Here we got the pizza thrower. I think this is Genghis Toad. I always forget his name. I'm pretty sure this is like Genghis Frog, because he's a frog. Doesn't seem very Genghis Khan-like, which is why I forget his name sometimes. I got some pizzas in there. I haven't put any batteries in though. Should probably figure that out. So it does work. I thought it moved. You have to move it on your own. It's real loud, and then you got the button on this side. And if the pizza doesn't work, run them over. Back here I got the original Turtle comic collection. All of them except for volume 6, which I still got to get my claws on. So yeah, Genghis Frog's cool. Space Osagi. So this one I love a lot. I wish I had the... Try not to knock these fuckers over. I loved capes as a kid, so I don't know. I remember getting this one from KB Toys at Wonderland Mall with my mom when I was probably like 6 years old. So that's got sentimental memory to it, that one. That's not the same figure. I lost the original I had. But that one I actually ordered when I was on vacation for her birthday. Fugitoid, who's super cool. He's got all these crazy gadgets. I love that his chest opens up here and you can see some of his... Maybe it doesn't open up anymore. There we go. His inside guts. Like a robot. This guy who I thought, oh, maybe they just made him up to sell toys, but no, he's in the original whole planet of Triceratops characters. I'm really blanking on names today. Very tired. I think this was the first April O'Neil they came out with. She has the blue stripes. Her hair doesn't look as cool. She's got lighter eyebrows. She doesn't have the press thing on her uniform. I think this is called the sewer cycle. I got her riding there. This car here, this is one of my absolute favorite vehicles. Just because it's, you know, it's got like the tail fins like it's a 57 Chevy. It's more of like a early 60s model, sort of, I don't know. It looks badass. It's purple and black, foot cruiser. So, of course, I got Shredder at the wheel, Foot Soldier hanging by. Got Bebop and Rocksteady following closely behind. There's a better look at the Foot Cruiser. I don't know why these go in. Maybe that was what activated back here. Man, I wish I had a real car like this. You know, maybe with opening doors, but... Body on that's pretty sweet. Retro mutagen. Contamination. There's a cape flying in the wind. Windshield's kind of busted up. But yeah, definitely one of my favorite vehicles. Now here's a look at the dashboard. You got all the gauges here, and you see the turtle on the radar, glove box, air vents. Even here, look at that. You can shift gears. It's a stick drive. I don't know what, oh, it's a car phone. Utilizing Dimension X technology. And Krang, you know, complaining and bitching at them. This is a cool Krang too. No, that's the size that fits in the larger Android body, but it's just cool, you know. He comes in this little walker when he's anxious to get his actual body made. I always thought it was kind of funny too, you know. He's got like these arms that stay on so very well, and then they can hold this weird gun that looks like it shoots more like, you know, radio waves than anything else. But yeah, it's just cool that he opens up and comes on out. And you can stick him on things in the Technodrome and whatnot. Looks more like the character on the show. The only Utrom we knew as kids. I guess this is supposed to hook up into here like that, but it just doesn't stay. For me, it always stayed better going like this. But that's where the arm is supposed to go. So, it's my toy. I can do whatever I want with it. Yeah, Foot Cruiser's badass. I don't know I think I'm missing pieces still to get this launcher going. Maybe I should have looked into this before I started filming the video. I know this skull is supposed to go over here, but it sits nicely on here, and I can't get it to go on here, and I'm afraid to break it, so. Bebop and Rocksteady, I had them as kids. Well, I didn't have this regular Rocksteady. I always had Bebop. I had Krang. And let's see what's down here. Okay, the classic Turtle Run. I don't have the size for Raphael, but definitely had him as a kid, I'm pretty sure. The one with attitude. Can relate to the most with anger issues. Michelangelo. So these aren't his, these obviously aren't the beaded nunchucks. These are reissue nunchucks that came with the storage shell Mikey, which is why I bought them, because I wanted some chucks to put in his hand, and I'm like, I'm not gonna spend a crazy amount trying to buy originals when I could just get those. And then here's Donnie. He was my favorite next to Shredder growing up. I really liked purple, and I thought it was cool that he has like a stick, bow staff as a weapon, when everyone else has like a set of blades or nunchucks, something more deadly. And felt like I related more to Donatello back in the day. Leonardo, who's just badass for having these swords. I was just looking at a poll online. I guess he's people's least favorite, but I always thought he had a cool belt like Donnie. They got the 2 straps. I also like that the belts are black on the figures. I thought that's cooler than the brown. And it just, it's a lot of fun sliding the swords into the back. I always thought that was really cool as a kid. Yeah, just that detail that goes into it. Party bus, based off of a VW van. Closer look at the party wagon. Pops open. Got a Donnie in there. Ah! Or I had a Donnie in there. Missing his belt. The bombs they throw out. The cool stickers. I'm not sure if these are the same stickers they had back in the day. I mean, I think they're similar, if not the same. Cost-effective way, make it fun with stickers. There's the inside. Seating for about 3 or 4 turtles in the back, or whomever. April O'Neil. This is probably my favorite version of April. She looks better than the previous version. I'll have to line them up. They gave her some eyelashes. She's got a better hairstyle. Just a whole different sculpt on the head. And it says press on there. So there was more April O'Neil variants, but I think this was the original. She just has the blue stripe, different head sculpt. And this is the better version. More stripes, the press. This version I got in this box, and her head was broken off, and I fixed it a couple years ago. Another Casey, because he's one of my favorites, so I got 2 of him. Paint's a little brushed up. Another Splinter. Oh, here's another one of my favorites. Mondo Gecko. I always thought this guy was so cool, because he actually is. But yeah, look, he's got like the skull crossbones on the t-shirt. He's just like such a wacky He says dude a lot, like a surfer skater guy. He's got braces, his tongue's sticking out. He's got kind of like a devil lock, but then like a ponytail. Maybe he's got a mohawk under there, under his hat. Pretty badass skateboard. Kind of reminds me of something Bart Simpson had. It's got the skull and crossbones there again. Actually, I just realized it's a skateboard and a bone. He can actually skate, the wheels move. He's got the mismatching knee pads, a skull on one, a spike on the other, glove. So like the blue. Oh, and then he's got like this little skate attached to the back of his tail, so his tail don't drag. I'm sure those aren't fun to grow back for lizards. So yeah, Mondo Gecko. That's definitely one of the coolest figures in my opinion. Not too hard to come by. I think I've had this one since I was about 12, but I definitely had one when I was younger. Scoot this over here. So here we got Slash. He's cool. Just the color scheme. That's the cool thing about the turtle figures. They just have amazing color schemes on these guys. Again, the detail. He's got this crazy belt with like the skulls on it, and grenade with spikes. He's got the spiky back. They actually reused his body minus his head and some other parts. When they did Toka and Razor in the second movie, you can kind of tell he's got the same body, same shell. If my camera will focus, just painted up differently. Same tail, same arms, just different armor put on. Same feet. I got this one when I was about 12 through eBay in this turtle crate, which I'll show you in a minute. I got a whole bunch of turtle stuff in the early 2000s for like $60. Total steal compared to today. Yeah, I know Slash is a lot of people's favorites, and he's definitely ranks up there pretty high for me. I forget this guy's name. He's a moleman. A mole. Oh, I can't name his name. Anyways, he's pretty cool. I don't have his tail. His tail's missing. Not one of my favorites, but he still looks pretty awesome. Here's some of Slash's weapons. Same ones that Toka came with. Spiked nunchucks. This guy's always cool. Killer Croc, or not Killer Croc, that's Batman. But yeah, he's got the belt with all the stuff on there. He's got some crawdaddies and a little turtle and some seaweed. Cool thing is his mouth opens up. He's got the southern accent. I always thought he was cool, the figure, because he looks so different. He's a lot smaller than the turtle figures, but in the show, he's a hell of a lot bigger. He's got that cool vest. Yeah. I think the figure is cooler than the character in the show, personally. And if you have any idea what this was to, I feel like maybe it was to lock up shoelaces. I've had this since I was a kid. I found it in a old trunk from forever ago. Yeah, missing the other half. I think shoelaces would go in there, but if you know for sure, let me know in the comments. Okay, and then here, as a horror fan, I really dig these guys. Definitely had Dracula Donnie as a kid growing up. I remember being kind of disappointed because, cloth capes I think are superior to the plastic ones, but at least this one was more like vinyl. And it's just, it made total sense, do Donnie as Dracula, Dracula. And the purple goes with the black, which is an awesome color scheme. It glows in the dark. I'll have to do a shot in a second after. Yeah, he glows in the dark and he just like looks cool. He's a real slick figure. He came with this medallion. This is the original medallion one I got. My dad bought me this originally at Toys R Us when he came out in the early mid-90s. That was always a favorite of mine. And then more recently, I've acquired, we got, you know, Frankenstein Monster Mikey Stein. Pretty cool. Got the flat head, just like Universal, so you know they had to get clearance for that, because Universal owns the rights to the flat-headed monster. More of a muted orange, definitely works. Werewolf Leo, which is really cool. Wolfman was always one of my favorites. They gave him these little ears, which is cool. Kind of hard to notice if you don't look too closely. Cool with the green fur. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Swamp Thing. His shirt glows in the dark, I believe. You can see on the bottom there. Is that upside down? Yeah, it is. 1993, so I was 4 years old when these came out. But I got a hell of a good memory. I was mostly focused on Donnie Dracula because I was obsessed with Count Dracula and vampires. Yeah, I heard there's two versions of this. One you can see his chest, because right there it's his chest and not just bandaging. I don't know which one's worth more, probably the other one. Kind of want to get both just because I'm crazy. But yeah, it's cool with all the mummy bandages. Then they got the red over there. Gives it a cool feel. All of them glows in the dark pretty much. They glow.
Well, that's all the time we got today on Tomcat's cool toy collection. So, I'm gonna break this up into 3 parts. Even if you're a Turtle fan, I feel like an hour and a half is a little too much to be, you know, sitting there watching. So, break it up for you a little bit, piece by piece.